All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, brothers and sisters, CNC creators. It's Wednesday night. We get to hang out again and chew the CNC fat. Boy, we're gonna have some fun tonight and talk about CNC and CNC questions. And can see that we have. It almost looks like Kate and I are coming in late relative to these comments here.
I know. Oh my
It's like
gosh.
insane. Okay,
Y'all
so
are
one of
killing
the
it today.
things, yeah. I'm not. Have you seen any Facebook comments yet? Nope. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on. When I was connecting StreamYard today, it said something. Face, you have to give Facebook permission to access your name on StreamYard, but I think it's the same thing. Um, but anyway, so that's the deal. It's a awesome Wednesday night. I just got back from my exercise walk, and um, yeah, got some big news on this end, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Kate, why don't you start saying hi to some people? Looks like Tim he was number one, brother.
Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going on? Kate Tucker here with Rise and Shine Wood Signs. Thank you for signing on tonight.
Oh
And I
yeah,
do
I
see.
need to introduce myself, right? Garrett with IDC Woodcraft. I guess everybody already knows that though.
Yep, you're famous. Everybody knows you, dear.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't send you. Someone sent me a picture. They messaged me a picture. They
Yeah.
were in New York City, or
Ooh.
somewhere in New and they were taking their computer into Best Buy to get it worked on. And the guy that was working on the computer had an IDC Woodcraft sticker on his computer. So they
No
took a picture
kidding.
together. They took a picture together and sent it to me.
Oh my gosh. That is
That
hilarious.
yeah, that was too cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's Let's see. All right. So we've got Tim, obviously. He's first up. 74 minutes to wait till go time. You guys are cracking me up with this right now. He says he beat Jack in the shop for once. Oh
Tim,
my
you're the
goodness.
man.
All right, so let's see. So we've got wooden cigar accessories. Welcome.
Ooh,
I'm not sure if you've been on here before or not, or if you're under a
no.
different handle for tonight. Oh, he said, "This is Tim Nudd on my new business channel I started. I hope everyone is having a great evening. Was earlier than Jack on 2 channels tonight." Oh
Woo,
my goodness.
woo.
Well,
Yeah,
awesome. Congratulations on your new channel. I love that for you. So exciting.
yeah. I want a link to the channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got two
Uh,
subscribers right here.
yep, there you go. Your very first 2, if you don't already have any.
Right.
So we have Raoul. We've got Richard back again. Good evening. He says, "Good evening from hot Rockland, California. 108 degrees right now. Couldn't work in
Oh
my
my.
non-temp controlled shop. So time to move to the air conditioning and enjoy Garrett and Kate with y'all." 108. Ugh.
Yeah. And got to tell you that for those of you in the West Coast and southern states, you haven't seen rain in like 5 decades. We've been taking it all,
Mhm. Yeah,
literally.
yeah. I know.
Uh,
I walked out of my shop and like it's all like stoned and they're all like set and they're literally start to like gradually like sloping in towards my shop. I'm like, I'm gonna have to dig all these up and fix all this because it's just the rain coming off of my shed. It's literally like the gutters are like bowing out and it's just like dumping. Anyway, I don't want to complain too loudly because there's much bigger problems in the world. All right. Let's see. Um,
Dion.
So, Raul says, "I just bought some bits at IDC Woodcraft and so impressed with the quality of the bits, the pack, and the customer service. Congrats."
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Companies say they pride themselves on customer service, which means nothing to customers, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I pride myself on seeing comments like this. That's when you know you're doing something right.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100% agree.
Thank you, Raul, for mentioning that because that lets me know that I'm doing the right stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dion's here early tonight. Welcome back, friend. Um, All right, so let's see. Gary Lynn, he's here from Waterford, Michigan. Good evening, all. Garrett and Kate, have you ever thought of a meet and greet? Have you looked into having more letters than 200? You missed lots of good, I'm assuming, questions. So we don't control that, unfortunately. There's just 200 characters that StreamYard allows you guys to have. It's not something that we moderate or that we have any control over. It's just what StreamYard allows.
Yeah, but that's to our benefit too, because otherwise we could have some serious reading going on here.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Um,
what Gary meant was you can only type in up to 200 characters in the StreamYard feed. Anything after
yes.
that, it won't even take it.
Yeah. It just kind of like says you're in negative and it just cuts you off. All right. So we've got Oz back. Hey, friend. He says he's back from the Ozark, Alabama, back to the Wisconsin Moto Guzzi Rally. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. All right, so we've got, I see Richard's got a good question for us. I'm just going to kind of say a couple more hellos and then we'll dive right into the questions and we'll kind of say hellos as we go on tonight, just so we can kind of keep the flow going a little bit and we don't get too far behind.
Yeah.
So we've got Richard. He's got a good question for us. Carolyn's back
Carolyn.
from Arizona. She says she signed up for Kyle's class.
Oh,
So
good.
exciting to do them in the nice air conditioning. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. There you go. So what Carolyn is doing, she is doing what smart people do, right? Kyle Ely is someone who has put together an entire Vectric training course,
Yeah.
and and so I strongly recommend that people take that course because it's like the only course out there that like walks you through the entire Vectric software, whether you have Cut 2D, VCarve, or Spire. And I look at it this way: like us guys, we're like us DIYers. We like to fix stuff. We like to figure it out ourselves. But when it
Yes.
comes to mechanical stuff, that's fine. But when it comes to design software, you're asking for problems. You're asking for
Yes.
problems, right? You invest a ton of money in your machine and in your bits and your product, your shop. Invest in your
All of
knowledge
it.
too. Get the training. Get the training. Um, I've got links for his course in the descriptions of this video. So if you're on Facebook up above, there's a description. There's going to be links. We'll talk about that later. If you're in YouTube,
Yep.
down below, there's a little line under the thumbs up button that we hope that you press. And it's just like one line. It starts a sentence. You hit the word more, and that opens up the description section. The link to Kyle's website will be in that. So if you are struggling with your Vectric software, or you are you're trying to do something, you're going, why isn't this working right? It's because you're missing something, and you want to get
Yep.
the training. There's only so much we can do in email and what have you as individuals. Even with
Yes.
all the videos that are out there, you get the methodical
Agreed.
training. I strongly recommend you at least take a look at it. Okay, let's move on, Kate. Oh, by the
All
way,
right.
Carol, congratulations for doing something very smart.
Yes. Investment into your knowledge. As my dad said, you can always invest into your education, and that is the one thing no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah, education and skill.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. So let's pop up to Richard's. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. Richard's question at 7:49.
Okay.
He is asking about an end mill. So what end mill is best for pocket cut when making raised letters? Upcut or downcut? Do I use the hog or on small signs?
Okay.
Well, I guess it really depends on raised letters. It depends on how deep you're cutting. I'm probably going to say you're going to not cut any more than maybe a 0.1. So I mean, upcut is going to eject the chips up and away from the cut. You're definitely going to get a much cleaner cut if you're using an end mill versus the hog. But if you are looking to go down that 0.1, you could definitely use the hog and go out and clear out around. You just have to make sure to run that exact same tool path with either your upcut or your downcut bit for your pocketing profile after it's done, so then that way you can get all of the cleanup, because as you know, the hog is meant as a roughing bit. It's not going to give you those clean edges that you want for this type of finish work. I personally would use a I mean, I guess it just depends on the type of wood too. I personally would use a downcut just because you'll tend to get less fraying around like the edges of your lettering. Because upcut bits, when you're going around the edges, that's when you're going to tend to get more, it looks like fraying almost around the edge of the wood. And especially if you're using any type of a pressed ply, you're definitely going to see that with an upcut bit. So your downcuts are probably going to be your best bet for this type of thing.
Yeah, another term for that fraying that she's talking about is a tear out. So
yes,
yeah, I would use for small signs. I wouldn't use the hog, right? It's because you're spending 4 or 5 minutes with the tool change, right? When you can get that stuff done that way. So
yeah. All right, so let's see. We've got Chris. He's back. Hey, sir. Welcome back. We've got Guy Allen. He says, thank you for the invite. All right, so let's see. Mark has a great question for us at 7:57.
Okay.
He says, Garrett, I am making raised letters. I was going to use the 1-inch surfacing bit. Is that okay? Will it remove a lot of carving time?
Oh. Okay, so the surfacing bit is not there to cut raised letters. It is there to surface. So you don't even want to use the surfacing bit unless your letters are super large. Then you can consider using it. But you have to, with the surfacing bit, you would have to ramp into the material, because in the middle of the surfacing bit does not have cutting edges. And let's see, it must be raised letter night tonight.
That's that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I would, but what I would do is surface your project. You should always surface your material when you get set on your machine. You should always do a very light surface on it to get the entire material level. So especially if you're doing V-carves with very fine details, that will show up dramatically, even with a very slight deviation in height.
Oh,
so
yes.
The answer to your question is surfacing bit will not work for raised letters.
Yep. So, all right, we've got Brian back. Good evening. Good evening.
Brian?
Chris has got a question for us at 7:58. What is the best way to center a design on a round material, a challenge coin?
Yeah. Okay. You want to? I got a little trick. You want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons we do grids on our spoil boards. So when you can put a circle down on I don't have a circle round piece, but you have grids like this on your spoil board. You can line the edge of the circle on one grid and line it on the other grid, and then you can count out your grids and know where your center point is, right? And that's the way to do it. If you know that circle diameter is, even if you measure it and it's like 7 3/4 inches, you know that you've got a corner that you can work off of from that grid point. All right, and then you can zero it out at that corner grid point where you've got the circle kind of set into, and you can zero out at this point. And then if you know your circle diameter, you want to work off middle, then you move your X over that half the radius of that piece of material, and then you move it up a radius and re-zero, and that'll put you dead on center.
I'm gonna grab one quick thing.
Okay.
I have a really good, easy way to show you guys how I do this, because I do a lot of door hangers. So I have a lot of things. Okay, so like these are like my rounds that I use for my door hangers. I just buy them at Lowe's. And I saw this trick from another YouTuber, and he actually went through like 10 different ways on how to find your circle. So this one is the big one. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so what I did is I have some, what is this, like drawer easy liner. I think I bought it at the dollar store. So what I do is, this one's actually too big. So this is not going to work, but you'll get the general idea. So what I do is I take this stuff here, I put it over my piece of wood, and then I basically take an X-Acto knife and I run along the edge of this, right? All the way around. And then I pick it up, I fold it in half, and then I fold it in half again. And so you want to make sure your edges, everything's lined up the way that it is. And then you take a pair of scissors and you snip the end. And then you open it back up and you put it on there and you level it up wherever it is in the center. Obviously this would be the full circle. And then you have that little bitty hole is right where you put your bit.
Interesting trick. I like it.
I have like literally, I use so many different size circles. It's like obnoxious. I think I have like 10 different ones of these. And then I write on them all like what they are.
Okay.
So if it's 10 inch, 12, whatever.
All right. So there's a couple of tricks there. And also there's the squares that have they'll have the sliding squares that have the right angle on it. And it's usually got the 45. Some of them have the little V shape on them too. And you can use that as a centering tool. You'll set it right up, just nest it right in the edge, draw a line, rotate it any degrees, and do the same thing. It'll cross into the middle.
Yeah. All the good things. Okay, yes. So hopefully, Chris, that will help you out. Okay, so Ron Lowry says, hi, Garrett and Kate. Wanted to say hello. 40-year program tonight. Hope you all had a good day. Aw, well, I hope a 40-year program.
40-year program.
Maybe work?
Could be retired.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
well, I hope you have a good 40-year program.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Tony popped on here. He says, I have a question as how to measure the distance the end mill travels and where to measure it. I am checking the axis distance. I am using a Mach 3 on the CNC machine.
How to measure the distance the end mill travels and where to measure.
And where to measure it. I am checking the axis distance.
Oh, okay. I think he's trying to see what max travel for like Y and X.
Oh, okay.
That's my guess. So what I do is the way I do it is you can either bring it to the home position of your machine, or if you don't have home sequence or switches on your machine, then you just with stepper machines, you just bring them up into a corner until it goes. The motors keep trying to run.
Such a nice noise.
Yeah, and then you zero it out, and then you run it all the way across. And as you're getting close to the opposite corner, slow your feed rate, your jog rate down to as slow as you can go, and start jogging each one in until it just not touches the hard stop on the X and on the Y. Now, when you get to that point, then you read your numbers, and that will give you your max travel.
Yep.
Minus a couple thousandths.
Yeah. And something you can do too is like when I do my spoil board, I take a Sharpie. So like I'll have the bit in, or you can use like a V bit because most of our tables are like, wood, and then just take a V bit, like a 90 or something, and then you can just almost just like dink it in to the wood a little bit and let it make a little bit of a mark, and then you can lift it up and then hit that with the Sharpie, and then you'll know exactly where your corners are.
Yeah. You can do that all four corners.
Yep. Then you'll know exactly where to go.
All right.
Okay, so it looks like Tim was giving Richard a little bit of helpful info, so thank you, Tim. Ian says, hello, everyone from Owen Sound, Ontario. Well, hello.
Whoa,
welcome,
Ontario.
Welcome.
Canada.
Yeah. All right, so Dion here, he says at 7:59, He's just giving us a little bit of a shout out. He says, thank you, Garrett and Kate and CNCers. CNCers. In
That's
5 months.
all of us, by the way. That's not
Yes.
just Kate and I. That's you too. So
Yeah, it says, I was able to learn VCarve Pro, run a CNC, learn about bit science, then start up an Etsy general store and niche store. It has been a fun journey. Well, Dion, my
hey,
friend, we are so proud of you. That is incredible.
and you know, this is it. He's made a journey out of it. And the way I read that, you know, you're looking back and you're saying, look how far I've come. Right. Instead of
Yes.
beating your head against the wall, oh my God, which we all do,
Yeah.
but you're taking a minute to smell the roses, looking behind you and say, wow, look at that hill. I did that mountain I just climbed. Excellent,
Yes.
Dion.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you are welcome from myself, from Kate, and from all our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. All right. So let's see. So Keith, he is, or Ron is saying hello to both of us. He wanted to wish us a good day. So we've got Keith from Citra, Florida. Guy from St. George, Ontario. We've got Doug, Ralph. Boy, we've just got a little bit of everybody. Ellen's here from Washington. Evening.
Hi, Ellen.
Yeah, looks like we've got some Facebook users.
Facebook users. Okay, so Facebook users, see how that comes in? This is how we see Facebook. If you're on Facebook, if you have not given Facebook permission to see your name and your profile picture just below the video in Facebook, you can click allow StreamYard to see you. That's up to you. So that's what if you don't do that, then we just have a bunch of Facebook users and we can't really distinguish between people.
Yeah, especially if you guys ask questions. It's really helpful for us to be able to refer back to you, or for anyone else that may want to help you if you have a question, because obviously a lot of our folks, we have a really great community and they're always love to, kind of call you out and say, hey, I know exactly what you're going through, and they can help you. So you might miss out on a really great possible contact.
Yep. See here, Patrick has done that. So now we can see who he is on Facebook.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So we've got Barry. He says, great to be here tonight. We've got George from Toledo, Ohio. Oh, that reminds me. We did not answer the comment. I'm not sure who asked it, but about setting up a meet and greet. We did not do that.
That's right. Yeah, I was up before. So one in September here in Madison, the last weekend in September. Well, it's October 30th, 31st is September 30th, 31st October.
Okay.
Yes, got right. There is a festival in town. It's an art festival, and it's a big art festival. I was going to do something, but I am trying to get family here. And so family would take priority. But yes, it's starting to kind of come up. So Kate and I are kind of talking about it in the background and how we can finagle something. So that is on our radar. That is on our radar. And by any chance, if you happen to be in Madison on that day, when they're having it's called the Chautauqua, and you find me somewhere, then certainly say hello.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's see. We've got Dan's back. Ralph, one of our Facebook users, said, hey, you two.
Hello.
Grant from Newfoundland, Canada. We've got Jeffrey. Chris. I love Chris. He's from Australia. He says, good day. I would just love to hear his accent. So we've got Ken from South Dakota. And then we've got Jeremy. 803. He says, howdy y'all, here in Indy, longtime listener, first time caller, finishing wiring in my Onefinity Elite format while watching today. Wow, right. I'm so jealous. I have a Onefinity, but I do not have the Elite. I have seen what those things are capable of, and they are incredible.
Yeah. So that just brings up a thought, though. If you don't have a CNC router yet, one of the things if you're in the market, you're bouncing around, you're looking, you're trying to figure it all out. Of course, I've got a buyer's guide video that walks you through what you want to think about. But the biggest thing that you will hear time and time again is a lot of times people start small and then they regret it and then they have to move up. Right? Go big.
Yeah,
Go
that's
big.
what I did. I had never
Yeah.
operated a CNC, and I bought the Journeyman X50. That's what the biggest model that they had at the time. So, and I honestly don't regret it because I actually just had 4 orders that were picked up tonight here, like literally an hour ago. And one of the signs was it was just like 35 inches by um, a little over 3 feet. So the yes factor in being able to do those type of things is incredible. Because if I had a smaller machine, I'd be fighting it. So
All right.
yeah, but I'm excited, Jeremy. You said you're in Indy. I'm actually located here in Indy, and if any of the other CNCers that are in the Indianapolis area, if you ever want to like, hook up, have lunch, whatever, and just chat, I'm down for that. So
I was talking to Sarah. Said we need to come up there and jump in your swimming pool.
yes, I don't know though. We're gonna have to turn the heater on because it's getting a little chilly in the evenings.
All right. All right.
So
Okay. We are at 8:03 on the comments. We're at 8:24, so we got to step this puppy up.
all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The big thing, Kate and I. Well, we do have to do one little thing here first, but we are trying to keep
Yeah.
up with all the comments. We're noticing that we're falling behind. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot more people are joining. So we're doing our best that we can.
Yes.
So, first of all, in the description of YouTube is above this video. There are some links you may want to take a look at, and down below in YouTube, above in Facebook, in the description, there are some links. So Kate does one-on-one with you if
Yep.
you are struggling with Vectric. She is an expert sign maker, so she's got a lot of the finishing skill as well. And so her link to schedule one-on-one is in the description. And what else we got there? Oh, your group.
Oh, yes. So on Facebook, I run a group called Women Who CNC. It's a great group of women CNCers of all walks. Some are just setting up their CNCs, and some have been doing some really intricate work, 3D carvings. We've got a really great variety of women, and everyone in there is super supportive. So come join us on Facebook, Women Who CNC, and come join the group. Check us out. It's for women only. Sorry, men. But I'm really excited because we've been getting some younger women that are joining, like, lots younger women, daughters of CNCers, and maybe their dad or their grandpa's kind of taught them the trade and they're trying to figure out their way and get their feet wet. So super excited about all of the ladies that are joining. So, okay. What else we
Awesome.
got?
Yeah.
Anything else?
And I understand you've got. I mean, I know it's still a secret, but you got something coming down the pike now, right? You got something related to your women who CNC that those women are going to want to know about soon.
I
So,
do. We are anxiously awaiting some really huge news. I don't want to drop the bombshell just yet. I'm hoping next Wednesday we will have a really big thing. I'm going to be dropping some hints in the group. It's been a long awaited journey, but trust me, it is well going to be worth it. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we're going to keep moving because I want to focus on the people that took the time to show up for us tonight and see if we
yes.
can't help some more folks out.
So,
Uh,
Jen,
well, hi,
do you want to
Jen.
give me a shout out? You did your first inlay, the feather inlay. So I got a video that walks you step by step how to do an inlay and with a feather, and it was perfection. Yes. So
Yes.
if you want to know how
Awesome.
to do an inlay step by step, that video literally takes you from the very beginning, choosing your materials, and then going to the Vectric software, setting up your router, what router bits you need. I think I even give you the G code for it and the files for it, the design files,
Wow.
and all the finish work, how to finish it. It's a complete walkthrough.
Well, speaking of that, don't you have another video that you just dropped, or have you dropped it yet?
Yes. No, I just released a video 2 days ago. It is a remake of like Vectric 101 for those who are brand new to Vectric, and it literally walks you from the very beginning Just gives you talk about the real estate of the Vectric, how it's laid out. We will go through some of the basic tools that you will be using. By the time you're done with the video, you will be able to design something. It's a
That's
long
very
video,
cool.
an hour and 45 minutes. I make movie videos.
Yeah,
You
no
would,
kidding. I was just thinking, my gosh, if I had to upload that here out in the boondocks, I think that would probably like upload in like 10 years.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's hard. Videos like that took a week to make that video.
Yeah, and it's probably just
And,
like nonstop staying on top of it.
yeah.
So, all right.
So
Well, congratulations, Jen. I'm very happy for you that you got your inlay done because I know those suckers can be tricky. So, I want you to do me a favor, Jen. In the group, I want you to put what bits you used, and tell us a little bit about how you did that for any newbies that maybe want to try that. So, put that info in the group for us. I think that'd be great to know. Okay, so let's see. Ron says good evening. Oh, we have Cody. Hey, Cody. This is actually this is one of my husband's friends. He works at the same company as my husband, and I'm actually doing some really cool custom work for Cody for 2 businesses for him. So thanks for hopping on. First time joiner, Mr. Cody. Let's see. All right, so we have 2 Elm Builds. Hey, friend. We've got Doug. He's talking about that he's got a dry heat, unless it's not like here where you just walk outside and like start smelting. Yeah. Or you get eaten alive by sweat bees right now. Okay, so Guy, we're talking about the weather.
All the way down to Ian. There's a question down from Ian.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so Ian sent me an email earlier talking about zeroing off your it's kind of an interesting technique that I do, and it's zeroing using both your material surface zeroing and your spoil board for the same project. I gotta find a project. Okay, I got a very cool project.
Okay.
An ultra cool project. This 3D carve, right? That'll do it. Right.
Super neat.
So, yeah, that took 9 hours, by the way, to carve. And so when you are carving, if you're carving a sign where you got to do work on the top and then you have to cut it out of a piece of material. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we'll set our router bit. We'll do everything from the like upper corner, and
okay.
Our 0
bottom
point.
Left.
Yeah. So lower left, and we would go off the top of the material. Sometimes your material's too thin, right, from what we measure, and then when we do the cutout, the top cut is great, but when we do the cutout, it cuts down into the spoil board. Mm-hmm. And so what he said in his email, what I've done is in the design, I'll do all the top work and just generate those codes, and then I'll go back and change my material Z0 point to the bottom and generate the cutout code, right? Mm-hmm. But the only thing is that's a memory step that you have to remember to do that.
Yeah. Plus, you need to also, when you're doing that, you have to go back in and open up like a separate Vectric and run those toolpaths in a different window, because you would have to change the datum of where you're starting, or not necessarily not the start point in the datum, but you have to tell it in that same little segment whether it's material, you're starting off the material or you're starting off the machine bed. So it's definitely a little bit more work. But
it's definitely a memory.
It's an option.
Yeah, you have to remember that. So
yes.
But it is a technique as you get more advanced and remember more things, then you can do it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got a little chat going on here. We've got some more hellos. Hello. I just want to say hello to everyone. Just kind of saying, hey, I just want to make sure we're staying with our questions. Let's see. Oh, so Jeremy is making a comment about Kyle Eli's course at 808.
808. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Jeremy's actually, he says it's a great course. I've been taking it while I was waiting on my machine to arrive. Jeremy,
Yes, another one
friend.
made the move.
Yes.
Kyle
I just want to,
Eli, go ahead.
oh, no, I was just going to say, Jeremy, my friend, you have the right mindset. Because I did the exact same thing. You have to invest in your knowledge, one. Two, taking the time to learn the software before your machine arrives. So many CNCers make that mistake of getting the machine and they're like, oh, we're just going to take off and run. And it takes so long. If you don't have any Vectric knowledge or any graphic design knowledge to grasp what needs to happen before the CNC even does this. So investing in your time and the knowledge to get to know these things will open up so many more doors for you so much more quicker doing this in advance.
Yeah, and it also helps you know the lot more tools in the software and how they work. Right.
Yes.
Even the basic tools, it's very, even the basic tools have a lot of resource to them that you can do. So what Jeremy's talking about, we mentioned before, is the Kyle Ely's course, Learn Your CNC. Right.
Yes.
You're investing your knowledge. It's a course with the Vectric software or the Vectric software. You will learn more in that than you will learn by watching 100 videos of YouTube. So I've got links for his course. You want to at least take a look at his website if you're working with the Vectric stuff, and Facebook above, YouTube down below in the descriptions. All right.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Jeremy, for doing that.
Yes. All right. So we have a question from Guy Allen at 809.
Okay.
Very new to CNC, started with easel, but saw Garrett's info and decided to jump to V-carve. Can I carve with an easel after setting up toolpaths in V-carve? That's a good question. I would think you would need to set up an easel and run your toolpath in easel, but maybe some of our fellow CNCers can help Mr. Guy Allen out.
Yeah, with that question. Generally, though, if you have a software like VCarve and it runs the code, and then you use the easel control software, if it's got control software, I don't know how it works, then you might be able to do that if easel will interpret your code.
Yeah. All right. So we've got some more hellos. We've got George. He's also talking about investing in Kyle's course and how easy it was to work with.
All right.
It really is nice because you start at the beginning and you work all the way through. So, okay. So David has a question for you at 812. Follow up from your vac table video. Have you tried the plastic sheet with an opening under your workpiece idea that I proposed? Just curious.
I have not. No, I have not. I've been busy. My business is going through some structuring. I've brought on 2 new people. All right. I brought, so I'm focused on that so I can get back to content creation. So I've brought on an administrative coordinator, and that person is going to oversee the e-com side of the business, keep me organized, because the bigger you get, the harder it gets. And I have a lot more inventory. We just can't keep it. We don't have enough bandwidth to keep that kind of management and on board. And then I've got a photographer and a video person is probably going to come on board, or I'll contract with them. So have not touched that.
He's a busy bee.
Yep. Long answer to a short. To actual short answer, the answer is no.
Yeah. All right. So next up is Ken Hoffman. He is got a great question here. I was told I should use a 1/4-inch ball nose for a roughing pass on 3D files. Just curious if that's a good idea or no. Well, do you want to take this one or me?
Go ahead.
So Ken, personally, I never use my ball nose bits for roughing. I personally just don't think that's a great idea. You could easily use the hog. You could use a regular end mill if you don't have the hog, or the beast. Bits are great. That's what those end mills are for. They're meant to remove material. So your ball nose is really going to be more for your, it's it's not a tapered ball nose, but a ball nose is still a really nice bit for 3D carving, and you can get really good 3D carvings with just a ball nose and not the tapered ball nose. But I would really not recommend using that type of bit for removing material. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Okay.
So up next we've got Steven. So is there a way to set a direction of the raster and pocket toolpath for surfacing so the bit is only taking the material off from the right to the left? Well, I will let you answer this one since I took the last one.
The answer is yes. I'm going to launch Vectric, and I'll show you where to. Hopefully my mouse will go over it the right way. And I just have to open up a file and create something real quick. So we'll just do that. We'll make a line or a circle. There we go. And close. We'll make a rectangle. And there we go. Oh my gosh.
This is a really great question, because I actually not too terribly long ago had a comment on my YouTube channel about someone saying that I needed to run to the left and it's easier on the machine, and I was like, let me look into that. And this is exactly where this came into. So I'm so glad you asked this, because not many people know about this feature.
Yeah, this is actually a good one, right? Because a little tip you're going to learn about the Vectric software. All right, this let me reread. Is there a way to set direction of the raster pocket toolpath? Okay, so I'm going to turn that off so we have full screen here. And share screen, that's going to be VCarve, and that's right there. Can you see my Vectric?
I got it.
Okay. All right, so is my mouse over? Can you see my mouse flashing over the raster word?
No.
No. Okay. So I am in the pocket toolpath area, and where's my mouse on the screen right now?
I personally do not see your mouse. Oh, there it is. All right, it's waving back and forth.
Okay, so you can't see it in the menu area. Now I see what's going on. Okay, so when you can see the toolbar, right?
Yes.
The pocket toolbar. Okay, so down halfway down it says offset, and there's a button for raster. So what he's talking about is when we select raster, I'm selecting it. Did it show up as selected?
You got it. Yep.
Okay, and then selected. Okay, and then just below that box that shows the zigzag line of how the raster path is going to go, it says raster angle. And that is where you can start, you can change the direction of the cut. So if I was to set, right now the angle is set to 0, and I'm going to use a 1/4 inch down cut end mill. And I'm just going to generate the tool path. Of course, no vector selected. We always do that. Tool cut through material. Okay, so we have a zigzag. And what's going on is you might, let me change one more thing. I got to change my, I was working on something today where I actually took the upper left corner.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do that. So change the set of values. Okay. All the
all the things.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go back on the toolpath. I'm going to change my depth of cut to 0.2. So I have one toolpath showing up.
There we go.
Okay.
And by the way, it's following a lot. It's keeping up, so you're good.
Okay. All right. So right now we're starting at the left corner, lower left corner, and it's going to move over to the lower right corner before it starts to cut. That's what the red line is telling us. And then the blue lines are the cut lines. And so it's going to start at this point right here, and it's going to zigzag back and forth. So what if we want this to start at a different corner? We can only tell it either this corner or this corner, I believe. You go back into the tool path and go down to the raster angle and change that angle, go 180, and we're going to recalculate. And now my raster is starting up here at that corner. What I can't do, what I don't know how to do, is tell it to start at this corner, at the lower left corner.
Yeah.
I'm going to try one thing. I can't change the direction I cut. So That's the best I can tell you how to change that the raster angle. We can also change that raster angle to anything we want. I'll change it to 45 degrees.
Yep.
And now we've got a 45-degree raster. So you can make it 270. So you can play with the angle that way until you get it to where you want it to get to. So that's a good question.
Very good question. Very good. Thank you for that demonstration. I know that helps probably a lot of people. So Stephen, hopefully that helps you. And all right, so let's go on to, we've got Adam. He is wanting to make some guitar bodies. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I know we have some other fellow guitar people in the group. So if you want to hook up with Adam and help him out, that would be great.
Yep, Adam is on YouTube, so you would comment to him there. So if you want to do guitar bodies and you want to get contours on them, there are some techniques you can use with V-carve, but I have not played with them enough to be able to really tell you. One of the things you can do, though, is look for files. There's lots of files out there. Scour the Facebook groups. I got an email today. Someone was sent me a link to free STL files, right? And
cool.
And so what I did is I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to scour, and I found a whole bunch of resources where you can get a bunch of free files. And so I put that in the CNC Entrepreneurs email chain. So, or CNC Insiders. CNC Insiders is a list that I have, right? If you sign up to that, I've got some discounts that I don't make public, and you eventually will get them in the email threads, and you get a lot of tips. I send you emails with tips, and you'll get project files periodically.
Yes.
And this one I'm just put in there is a whole bunch of resources for free files. But scour the Facebook groups. You can get files from the Facebook groups. If you're in CNC Entrepreneurs, I put a post out today asking, let's do some file sharing. And so if you're in Entrepreneurs, share your file, a file or two that you want to in the Entrepreneurs group. You can actually import it into Facebook, and then it'll be available to everybody. So, but yeah, find someone who's making guitars who's had experience with
that. And Adam, I will also tell you, there is a gentleman here in Indianapolis. He actually has a Onefinity and does guitar body design work. It's BULA Guitars, Bulla. So again, B like boy, ULA Guitars. He's on Instagram. His name's Eric. He's really fantastic. I run into him at Woodcraft here in Indy on the north side every so often. Fantastic maker. He's on Instagram. Go check him out. I think you guys would hit it off. So
yeah. I forgot. Guess who we have on board next week as a special guest?
Is it Mark Lindsay?
It's Mark Lindsay is going to join us next week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm so excited. He is such an incredible teacher.
He is. And he's been doing it for years. Right. So just letting you know, next week, Mark Lindsay is going to join us.
Yes. Don't miss next Wednesday. Like, write it in your calendar. Go put an alert on your phone right now. Like calendar alert.
All right.
Oh, very exciting. I'm so glad you were able to nail him down and get a yes, because I think that's going to be so cool.
Yeah, we're going to.
It's almost like meeting a celebrity.
It is. I might even try to get Izzy Swan on. But Izzy has shifted away from CNC though. I was talking to her a little bit down at the AWFS show. He was down there, and so we're batting heads a little bit.
That's all right.
All right. Well, he just got married. So that's kind of cool.
Everybody's on a different walk, and that's okay.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Jack, he's saying, hey. He must have finally showed up, Jack. Jeez.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that said, hey, they got here before you, Jack.
We're just razzing you. We're just having a good time with you.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's see. We've got Jack Hamilton at 8:15. He says, I'm new to CNC. I've been laser engraving for 15 years. I have a design cutting board. That toolpath with end mill shows no problem in simulation, but when I go to use a V-bit and check in simulation, the cut looks like they're going everywhere.
They probably are. So I'm assuming that you are. Yeah, they probably are. So you're using a flat depth V-bit or V-carving is what I'm assuming. And what Vectric has the lovely bad habit of doing when it's doing final touch-ups, it will literally come in, do a little touch-up of the V-bit, then it'll go all the way to the other side of the project, touch up a little bit over there, come all the way back, do a little bit more, and I don't know, it just literally, you've seen it, Kate? And it's just
I literally, that big sign that I was just talking about, it like took like 2 hours because it was like, it would go boop, and then it would come back over here and go boop, and then it would come over here. And I'm like, what? Or like it would carve like a whole sentence, and then it would go to the top one, and then it would carve like 3 letters and like at the top of an I over here, and then it would come, I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah. So Jack, unfortunately, that is one of the drawbacks of the Vectric software is it does not have an efficiency built into it. I should have talked to them when I did talk to them down at AWFS. I should have talked to them about that because that is my biggest gripe with the Vectric.
Yeah, it's such a time suck too. It's like, God bless, just fix it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Oz is saying, Adam, the Pro version will work instead of using Aspire for the guitar build and bodies.
Okay.
So hopefully, if you guys have some other folks, you can get that going.
Looks
so
like
let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Jack, I'm not sure if he's talking about the guitar bodies or not. Okay. Yeah, this is a great question. I'm new to this subject. I would like to know how to program plunge rate in Cut 2 Pro because whenever I do a project, the bit goes very deep into the material.
If the bit is okay, so in your tool library, your plunge rate is probably set incorrectly. So I'll show you.
Yeah. So I think that this will be a great time for you to tell him about your IDC Craft tool library and how to access that because this will help that problem.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the IDC Woodcraft website too. So first of all, okay, I'm going to share the Vectric screen. And so can you see the Vectric screen?
Yep.
Okay, so in the tool paths area, you got the tool library. Am I flashing over the tool library icon?
Yes.
Okay.
Your screen, it's flashing, but yes.
Okay. You open up the tool library, you go into whatever router bit. Can you see the tool library?
Yes, you might want to minimize the comment because it's kind of taking up some of the screen.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So the tool library. The plunge is right. It's the second item from the bottom, right above the tool number. And that's not the wrong one. You want the plunge depth under cutting parameters, the very first one. That number is probably way too high. So it may be half an inch. I'm under pass depth, aren't I?
Well, no, you're under chip load.
No, I'm under.
Are you talking about the plunge?
The mouse is on pass depth. So under pass depth, you want to change that number to. Let's see if I can get my mouse back there. Okay, the pass depth, you want to reduce that number. It's probably too high. Okay, so but what I would say is you want to get the IDC Woodcraft database, and that will solve all those issues. Because all that information is already put in, and I gotta click the stop sharing and go back into share and go to the IDC Woodcraft website. And so you see the website?
Yes.
Okay, right there, right at the top in the middle. It says database downloads. Select that, and you will have several databases right there that you can download with all the IDC Woodcraft router bits. Everything is already populated, and they are set for, they're actually conservative settings. So, and
Yes.
you get the one for Vectric, which is the very first one. And when you unzip it, there will be instructions as to how to install that.
Yes, and there's also, he has a YouTube video on his channel. If you don't know how to unzip files and everything, it walks you exactly through how to do all of it. So you should maybe add that to your website. That might be really helpful for people.
How to unzip a file. Yeah.
Well, no, the YouTube video on how to download your database, like, and how
Okay.
to use it. You know what I mean? Like, put that
Yeah.
YouTube video on there. That might be really
Well,
helpful.
well, so when you open up the file, when you unzip the file, there will be a PDF, and then there will be the database. And when you go in the database, there's a link that will take you to the video. Oh, when you open up the PDF,
Oh,
when you open up the PDF, in the PDF, it links to the video.
see, there you go, folks. He's thought of it all.
Yeah, I ain't no dummy. I get too many questions if I don't do stuff like that.
Oh, I is smart. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Somebody said you just solved your circle center problem for me. Cheers.
Yeah.
Peter
all
said
right.
that. I know when I saw that too, I was like, man, that's so smart. Let's see. All right. So one of our Facebook users, he says, cut a center finder with your CNC.
There you go.
It's a good idea too.
Yeah.
See? Full of ideas. Full of ideas.
I love
All
it
right.
when we creators hang out together.
I know. We always have so many good ideas. It's like they're just everywhere. All right. We have a new friend. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because I will slaughter it, but he says he is watching from Nigeria.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
Welcome, my friend.
hello, hello, hello. And
Very
Femi Kumbo. All right. That's the best I could do. It's the best I do. Oh, that's so cool. Welcome. Yes.
Yeah.
CNC brother from around the world. All right.
Very good. Very good. All right. So looks like Chris, he's using Chris is using the paper trick that I suggested for the circle.
Yep. Yep. Excellent.
Yep. It happens. All right. So let's see.
Looks like Jerry's got a
Okay.
one.
Yeah, we've got Jerry in here. He's got a good question. All right. Hello from Howie the Hills, Florida. When running a file that takes about 2 hours to complete, is there any way to stop it halfway through and continue on at another time using the laptop not plugged in after 2 hours of running a 3-hour job, batteries right now on my laptop, and projects all over again? Okay, so I think we've got a little bit going on here. Yes, you can stop it halfway and do it at a different time. You just have to hit pause. So like what I do on my Onefinity is I hit pause on my touch screen. And what I do is I actually take a picture of the G code, like where it's at, like what line it's on with my phone in case something happens. Because then I can go right back to that exact line of G code and turn my router on and I'm ready to go. So let's see. Stop it halfway through and continue on at another time. Using the laptop not plugged in after 2 hours of running a 3-hour job, batteries right now on my
So
laptop.
what I think the situation is he's got
The
one
batteries
laptop.
are dying.
Yep, he's got one laptop, and then the batteries
Yeah.
are dying. And at some point, it's like, okay, I got to go do something else in life, because you've been waiting for a long time. Use your computer for something else. There is another way you can do this. If you're using Vectric,
What about just using a
there's multiple things you can do.
jump drive? Save
yeah.
your G code to a jump drive.
Well, so the trick is interrupting the program and basically stopping it. and then being able to come later, because he's got to disconnect from. I'm assuming he's got to disconnect from the machine, and so that would you would have what I would do is if I needed to break it down like that, I would either make multiple tool paths that would only do segments of it, or I would actually go in and edit the G code and put a stop command to the G code, which most people don't understand how to do. And then I'd actually break the code
Yeah.
into 2 segments and put a stop command and then put the start command in the second program that would pick up where it's from. Yeah, without being real computer savvy and understanding how to work with the code, the backside of the code, that might be kind of challenging. Anybody here can give him some guidance on that? That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So we've got a little chatter, but we've got a Facebook user. They say hello, Garrett and Kate. Love watching the Q&A every week. All right. So we've got. Well, thank you for that very much. I appreciate that. So up next we've got KD at 821.
McCormick, okay.
All right. When I buy VCarve Pro September 3rd, I will be able to actually carve files I've already created with the trial desktop version in the last 30 days. Have been preparing several files, including my family crest. Oh, I'm going to have to like totally break your heart. This just makes me sick.
It does.
Any files that you have created in VCarve in the trial version, you will not be able to save.
Yeah.
It won't let you save them.
Yeah, there is something that I've seen in the Vectric where it asks, do you want to, I interpret it as, do you want to bring those files in? But I'm going to have
I
to,
hope so.
I'm going to have to lean on the side of Kate on this one. What I would do is I would email Vectric directly and ask them. They code the files that you create in a free trial, so it can't be, you can't give it to somebody else. It won't run, and it won't generate code. It's one of those things. And email Vectric directly. And I would like to ask too. I have affiliate links in my videos. All right, that if you use that and buy Vectric that way, it'll give me a little bit of credit. All right, for all the videos I create. I can buy a burger and a beer. So
there you go. Hey.
Yeah, if you decide to go that route, and you're still buying it through Vectric, you buy it off the Long Mill site, but you're still buying it from Vectric. You're still,
yeah.
It's just
so where do they go to find that link to use your link for Vectric?
It's in the description of most of the general videos, not the live videos.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry to give you that bad news, but please reach out to Vectric and see if there's anything that they can do to allow you to import those as you carry them over. So,
if anything, chalk it up as a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, gosh, that just makes me sick that you spent all that time doing that. Yeah. So for anybody else listening, if you have the desktop, or I'm not the desktop, but if you have the trial version of Vectric, do not create a bunch of files in there. The trial version is basically for you to kind of get your feet wet, to see if you like the functions, to do things. Yes, you can create some designs, but don't get attached to those designs because you might wind up losing them and have to start over. So just be aware of that little flaw in the system.
Yep.
So,
the free trials will not generate code to run your machine. It will not do it. It's a free trial, right? It's there for you to experiment. It'll do everything that the software is designed to do, except generate the code.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. JR's back. He says hello from Houston. We've got Robert. He says evening, folks. Okay, we've got Jerome at 822.
Okay.
He says he loves this. He runs a gifts and decor business in Jamaica. I recently bought the Beast to make letter saving pans. Plan to start using it next week. Very cool.
Yep.
Very
Remember,
cool.
The beast, okay, the beast and the hog, like Kate said earlier, those are roughing bits. They are not designed to leave a good finish. They're designed to remove material quickly. They will save you a ton of time when you have to remove a lot of material. And so you always have to come back in with what we call finishing bit, or your standard up bit, down bit, compression bit. So just take that into account, but it will save you a ton of time. The beast and the hog, they're called that because that's exactly what they do. They're badass bits. They're on idcwoodcraft.com. So,
Yes.
let's get back in. Okay.
All right. So we've got some other hellos. All right. Let's see. We've got Adam. He says, Garrett at 823. Watched your latest Vectric for beginners video. An hour and 45 minutes went by fast. Thanks. I enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah. Again, Vectric beginners video, that is for you if you are absolutely brand new to Vectric. Watch it all the way through. Have your computer with you, and whether you're using the free version or the paid version of Vectric, you will be able to design something very basic by the time you're done.
Yeah. Yep. Something I'll give you guys just a quick tip. When I was doing a lot of my Vectric training right up front, I had my cell phone and I would be watching you on, or when I was learning first before I even knew you, I would be watching it on my phone, and then I would have my design software up, and I like bought a little stand on Amazon so I could have like my phone and my computer kind of like eye level. And I was like, what is he doing? You know, and like trying to be watching it. So if I had to hit pause, I could do that, and then I could work on my computer. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. I got to tell you, when I'm making videos like that, the hardest thing to do in that is the editing, because I know most people, they just show their whole screen, and you can't always see what they're doing. And so I'm segmenting this video and I'm zooming into things, and that setting up that zoom takes like 5 minutes. So whenever you see that screen zoom into something and come back out, I've had to go into that. I've had to cut the video. I've had to put little start points, and I had to create windows where it's going to zoom to, and then plug in arrows because the arrows fly into what you're supposed to be looking at. Yes. Oh my God. A lot of work goes in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a bug out, Kate. Man, I mean, we're at 823 in the comments, and we're at 906 and 907. We are trying. All right, Raul, thank you. Raul has donated $5. Gave us.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's in YouTube. If you're on YouTube, just below the video is a little money tag there, and that's where you can contribute for us helping you. It's the way you can say thank you. So,
very nice.
YouTube created a little thing to help us. All right.
Yeah. Oh, so I think we missed one comment. He says, looks like Shalom at 823. He's from Austin, Texas.
Okay.
He says he just finished building his open builds 1515, but I think the scariest part is the first cut.
And that's the best part too.
It's the best part. It's the scariest. Is hitting like, yes, go, take off. It's terrifying because
then you see that thing cutting, and it's like, oh my God, look at that.
I know. I was so impressed when I first did it. I couldn't get over it. So congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. This next question is, we're trying to figure out what's the best bit for guitar building versus table leg building. Well, I have made neither. So, but
but you do have some long bits that are good for guitar bodies, right?
I do. Yeah, I've got a long set that is designed for deeper cuts, a 3-piece set for guitar bodies, right? You know, guitar bodies are deeper cuts. So it has the hog. It's got a long 1/4-inch down cutter and a long 1/8-inch down cutter.
There you go. That's good. That's good to know because we talked about a little bit about that last week about knowing how deep your carves are.
Yeah, and table legs, I mean, it really depends, right? Table legs can be straight, they can be Victorian, they can be, so that's too general to be able to pick that one out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Cigars is here the first time. Just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Kate. Where are we going to call us out to?
Let's see. Okay. So William Wright at 825. I'm cutting trays out of a 2x10, wanting to carve a deer head in the bottom. How? Ah! Sorry, like spider like flew into my face and like tried to eat me. How deep a carve into the bottom do you recommend? Um, I would say no more than like 0.07. There's that. Hold on. Oh, dang it. Sorry. It was a fly. It was a big, juicy fly that is
No, one of those
checking
things. Huh?
me. It was like a big one.
Yes.
Um,
Is it 3D or is it
I
line?
I don't think so because he's cutting it out of a 2x10. I'm wanting to carve a deer head into the bottom. I'm not sure if he's saying like how and then like how to do that, or if he meant to like use that as a comma. Because
I think
if you're
it's how deep.
asking,
I think the how deep of a carve into the bottom do you recommend?
yeah,
So if you
I,
are engraving it, like Kate said, 0.07, right? If you're
yeah,
engraving an outline, you use a 60-degree V bit.
yeah, I think you'd get a really good cut.
Mhm.
Just make sure to set your Z height when you in your setup above in the tools. Make sure in that very top, the setup, that you make sure your Z clearance comes up above the dish. So when that bit goes down and it carves it and then it comes back up, it doesn't cut through the side of your bowl. So make sure you do that. All right, so let's see. Someone said it's too hot in Texas to work. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm sending some stuff and a couple big epoxy projects to Florida, and my customer messaged me today. She's like, "Hey, wanted to see when it's going to be here because she doesn't want it sitting outside in the 100-degree plus heat. She's afraid it'll just get all ooey gooey." And I'm like, sometimes it's hard with epoxy projects because you get them, you bubble wrap them and you do all the things, and then the
Mhm.
heat can make a
Oh, really?
yeah, it can make an impression on your epoxy, which is a real pain in the butt. So I'm like, I've given it plenty of time to dry. So
God.
it's a whole thing. Okay, so let's see. It says, "Good day. This is Michael, um, Creations family from Quebec, and I have an MK1 long mill, and I love it, and I use their compression end mill. What is your suggested feed and speed for 3/4 inch profile cut through for my sign?"
Oh,
So for the compression end mill, I would use Garrett's, either the recommendations like we talked about earlier with downloading the tool database, or you can use the IDC Woodcraft app, which you can get either on Android or on Apple. There you go. You just go look up for the compression bit, and it will tell you exactly the feeds and speeds that you need to running it on, depending on what type of material you're using.
yeah. So you
So
can search IDC Woodcraft on Apple or Android, and there'll be an app for CNC router bits. It tells you the feeds and speeds that for the IDC Woodcraft bits. They're conservative, but I'm bringing
yes,
it up to the compression bit. Right, the compression is under straight bits. It's a little bright screen. Let's see if I can turn that brightness down a little bit. There, you can see it better. So
yeah,
there it is. So it's got a
yep,
little description. And you scroll down, you can select metric or inches and your router type and then your wood type. I don't have all the wood types in there. I just can't possibly get them all in there.
that's a
And
lot
then
of
it
wood.
has feeds and speeds. And then down below is the specs for the router bit. So get the IDC Woodcraft app and that will answer your question. And you won't have to ask that question again because everything's going to be in the app.
Yeah. It's a great resource. Between the tool database and the app, you should not have any problems. That tool database, I cannot tell you guys how many hours when I started out, I was trying to figure out all the things for all the tools. And when I found this, I was like, gold mine. So do yourself a favor, save yourself hours of like beating your head against your desk and just go download it.
Yeah,
So,
really, really.
mhm.
Here's one just real quick. Jeff was asking, where am I on Facebook? Where are we currently showing on Facebook. He's on YouTube right now. You can see the little YouTube icon next to the J. So we are being broadcast at the IDC Woodcraft Facebook page and the CNC Entrepreneurs Facebook page, which I suggest everybody sign up to. All right, we're about 34,000 members in that group now. All right, and then that's also on my pages, my personal page and my personal business page. So
Yeah.
that's where else we're at.
Yeah. All right. Dion had a really cool comment. It says, a few years ago, I went to a Dave Gatton CNC barbecue gathering in Georgia. That was a blast meeting all of the CNC people and talking shop.
Okay.
That would be so fun.
Yep. Okay. So Kate and I will start working on that.
Yeah.
We'll
Absolutely.
Pull
Okay.
what should we call it? A cut and brew or something like that?
I don't know. We still don't have a name for our show.
No,
We're still slacking. I need to write that down. I'm making a name. I'm making a name. Name for show.
Larry said
Right.
his first build was a Gatton Sidewinder.
Oh,
Jack's was an MPCNC. Okay.
he 3D printed the parts and built it up.
Yeah.
You have all the toys, my friend. I want to come. I want to go visit Jack. I just want to go spend a day in his shop.
Yeah.
Like, can I touch this button?
Yeah. So Jack got a long mill MK2. He converted it to a plasma cutter. And he had a video on Facebook I saw yesterday where he's actually using a plasma cutter as technically a laser burner. Right. And Jack has found himself a very interesting niche. He was
Yes.
a lineman, someone who puts up the electrical wires, and so he creates projects around that. Right. Very nichey. He's got what they call a blue ocean, right? And what that means is very little competition.
Yeah, he's definitely. I would love to just be like one particle of how Jack's brain works, because I can only imagine the things he comes up with.
All right. Okay. What is a good software if you're on a budget? Vectric does cost money, right? It's so the Vectric Pro is about $700. All right. Once you buy it, it's yours. I will say this, Kate will say this. It's better to cry once, bite the bullet, because you are getting yourself some good quality stuff. But if you are seriously just on a tight budget, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, you can get VCarve Desktop. VCarve Desktop only limits you to 24 inches by 24 inches. All right. So if you have a machine that size or smaller, Desktop is great. If you're on a budget, then you can get that. You can always upgrade with Vectric, and by upgrade, as long as you're on the same version. So like right now we're on version 11, and you buy Desktop and you want to upgrade to Pro later, you will only pay the difference. Another one you can consider is Carveco. Now they have a subscription fee of $15 a month. The problem with Carveco, it's a good software, it's okay software, but there's not a lot of supporting videos out there, and I don't use it. So
I have a really great little tip for you. If you do want to try the desktop version and get that, like Garrett said, do some really small projects to help you earn some income with your CNC. I mean, Halloween's coming up. I don't know if you've seen in any of the forums, but like those really cute little like lantern boxes you could make. Christmas is coming up. People love to decorate that kind of stuff, sell them in a bundle. 25 bucks a piece, or I don't know. I mean, make a deal. You could sell those little lantern boxes. They're super cute. They're super easy. Etsy has tons of files for scary faces. They're relatively cheap. You can use like cedar pickets, stuff like that. So start making those. Sell, they usually sell pretty quick. So, I mean, make yourself a little bit of profit, and then put that money back into your software. So I think that's a great way to earn a little extra cash and get what you want. So put that CNC to work, baby. That's what you bought it for.
Yeah. You buy it and you say, okay, now I got to make up the money for it.
Yep.
Wooden Cigar Accessories said, you can get Fusion 360. That's 3, but that's free, but it's pretty intense. You got a high steep learning curve on it. It's more engineering based.
Ooh. All right.
There's a technical question real quick, Ken. Your V-carve, the function windows have an off-white background with yellow text. How can you change it? I suggest you contact Vectric and ask them. So just
There you
email
go. Somebody else, Keith said your beginners video was awesome. I'm so glad we have we have a lot of new people joining the industry. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. All right, so let's see. We've got Rod. He is the first time on here. Well, welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. So I'm at right now, Kate, 8:35.
I see that.
Yeah, where can I find out what's the correct type of bit to use for a type of cut? I've got a lot of videos that kind of talk about that, but I don't have a video that specifically dives into that. I am putting together something that is going to get into that. And once I get my team acclimated, I'll make videos that explain that. But I'm putting together a little booklet that'll give you that guidance.
Yeah. And Mike, if you want to reach out to me, we can definitely chat. I do offer one-on-one services for anyone who's interested in learning Vectric, but I also have a lot of business mentoring from Garrett. So we can talk about that. We can talk about, stuff like this, anything just to kind of help get you moving and rolling down the road a little bit faster. So keep that in mind for you. Put that little feather in hat for you. Keep your
And just to let everyone know, we are trying to get with these comments here. We are coming to the end of the show. It's 9:22, and we're only at 8:35 in the comments. So we are learning how to navigate with a higher volume of people.
Yes. All right. So I think a really great question here is at 8:40, and it's W4FEJ. How to control how deep a V-carve goes. So this is really based off of your flat depth in the actual V-carve tool. Or I'm sorry, not in that's, you don't have that control in V-carve. You have that in your pocketing. If you use a pocketing toolpath, you can use a V-carve bit and still get the V-carve effect. But you can choose to use a flat depth if you don't want to. That's your flat depth is really how you control deep the V-carve goes.
Okay.
Thank you. It's a little hard to explain when you're.
It is. V-carving is kind of hard to explain what it's doing. So I'm going into the V-carve toolpath now, and right at the very top, there's it says your start depth. And can you see my mouse up in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And just below that's a little checkbox that says flat depth. All right. So you can check the flat depth, and you can set the limit at which that V bit will go down to. But if it's too wide, that V bit's going to try and clear out a whole bunch of flat area. And that's when you want to use your clearance tools down below.
Absolutely. I see so many new beginners trying to make signs and do big things with, and I'm guilty of it. I made my very first sign. It took me 8 hours. Aren't you impressed? 8 hours. I cleared this enormous sign with a 60-degree V-bit, which was probably junk after I was done with it. But good God. Yeah. So the biggest thing with V-bits is you want to make sure that your resolution is high within Vectric. So then that way you can actually see when you look at it. If it's not a smooth cut, you're going to have fuzz and you're going to have tear out from the bottom of your wood. And then you're going to have more cleanup work. So especially when you're using your steeper bits, like a 30-degree especially, or a 60-degree, you want to make sure and go down. I have found that for a 60-degree, usually about 0.7 0.07 or 0.9 are going to be your sweet spots for that 60-degree V-bit. And then you can get away with like 0.05 to like 0.07 for the 90-degree V-bit, and you'll get a nice clean cut in your lettering. But it's really it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Can you change your start point and nodes?
Yes.
I have to show you. Kate doesn't have it fired up, so I will fire it up and show you. So we'll go back into Vectric. Here we go. And I'm going to switch back over to 2D. And we're going to turn some things off here. All right. So right now I have the rectangle selected. I'm going to press the letter N on the keyboard, and that brings up the nodes on the project. So nodes are transition points for your software. So the black ones are corner nodes. But if you may not be able to tell, but this lower left one is a green node, and there's a little arrow that's pointing that way. The green node is the start point. That's where the software is going to tell the G code to start carving that at. Mm-hmm. And the arrow is telling the direction at which it's going to work. So let's say you don't want to use the green, you don't want the green or your start point here. You want to change it. While you're in node command, you hover over any node that you want to be your start point. And you hit P, I think the letter P on your keyboard. And now I have changed that. The other thing you do is, as you're hovering over the node, is right click and a menu will come up, and then you can click the word that says start point. Right. I'm sorry. Or is it make start point? Letter P right there. And now I moved the start point up to this corner right here.
Yep.
That's how you can change it. And you'll do it all the time.
Okay. All right. So I see we've got a lot of chatter, which is awesome. Awesome. I'm just trying to scroll. So if you guys see me kind of like not focusing on Garrett and what he's saying, it's because I'm reading through the comments, trying to make sure we're tackling everybody. So we've got a great comment from Dan Miller at 857.
857?
857.
Okay, you moved right up there. Here we go, Dan.
All right. Have you thought about making a thread mill bit for cutting internal and external threads?
I don't have enough requests for it to make it a primary bit to get into my stuff. I will certainly consider it. I'm getting ready to expand into 1/2-inch shank bits now, so that's kind of the focus. But I can talk to my tooling company and we can see what we can come up with. I won't see it as a big moving bit, so it just doesn't stay at the top of the radar. But gotcha. I've got another one. I've heard this a couple times this week, so maybe they're all collaborating. Let's get RDC to get a thread cutting bit.
Okay, so Dan had a really good comment about the trial version of Vectric. He says, my trial version let me save my files. When I bought the desktop version using Garrett's link, I was able to open them and generate G-code for them.
Okay. So
there you go.
Hopefully it'll work.
Maybe we're just outdated on our Vectric.
Yeah, maybe the old days.
This is good to know. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I bought Vectric when it was version 10.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you bought a version 11, they upgrade to version 12, you have to pay something to get that upgrade to the next version.
Really?
Yes. You can't upgrade from version 11 to version 12 unless you bought within, I think, the last 3 months before they go to the next version.
Oh, geez. I think I'm on like 11.5 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so KD, Dan was saying, hopefully we've now renewed your faith in the Vectric software. Hopefully you can save your files. Yeah. So Raul said, congrats, Kate and Garrett, you guys are awesome. That was very nice. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
So Dan said, yeah, he's right about not generating code. Free trial will not generate the code.
Yeah, but hopefully you can save the files though, so that's good. Okay, let's see. Mahoney Cast at 9:05.
Who?
Uh,
Mahoney.
Mahoney Cast. vCarve note, there is a makerspace version that allows files created in the trial version that is associated with a makerspace account to be converted on the makerspace licensed version. I'm so glad you guys are on top of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys
No,
are now restoring Katie's faith and not just gloom and doom over here.
not letting us destroy it. You're salvaging
Thank you,
us.
Jesus.
Mhm.
All her hard work is not just gone out the door.
So yeah, makerspace. We'll have to figure out what that is. How to get in touch with them. Okay.
Yes. All right. So Kenny, he says he is talking about he never knows where life is going to take us. Hope God will help me with my health problems so I can get back to business. Well, brother, I will be praying for you that you have restored faith and not restored faith, but restored health so you can get back to business. Absolutely. I know what it's like to be sick and not be able to do what you want to do. So I will be thinking about you and put you in my prayer list.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, so Richard's got a really great
Yeah.
question. My pocket cuts with 1/4 inch end mill is leaving swirls and uneven surface. Yes, I trained the router, but still have the same problem. Could it be a dull bit? Ooh, I love this one. This is my favorite type of question.
I
Do you?
know. I'm going to let you answer it because I know exactly what you're going to do.
This, Richard, oh, I had this problem for so many projects too. You need to adjust in your edit passes, you need to adjust your final pass. So in your toolpath profile, go to edit passes underneath the tooling operations, and you will have a place within, Garrett's going to open it for us. You will have a place to select your final pass. This is by far like a hidden secret that a lot of people don't know, but you can add even as much of like 2/10 of an inch or 2/100 of an inch to that last pass, and it will go in there and it will clean all of those fuzzies out of there, and it will make your project look brand new and beautiful.
Yep. So the way we got to that is we're in pocket toolpath, and that's where you're going to see it happening at. And you'll come down to edit passes, which is right about the middle of the page where it says passes and number of passes. This one says 1, so you can adjust that by set last pass thickness, a little checkbox there, and add a number, 0.02, and apply.
Yep.
And now we've got a little last pass there. I have a video that explains what's happening.
Yeah.
And what do I call that? The science of down bits.
Yeah. Because what's happening is you've got that bit deflection is coming off. So like I notice it when I do, so even if you have like a 1/4 inch down cut bit and then an 1/8 inch down cut bit, I'm coming in and you still see that down cut bit on the 1/8 inch, it just leaves a little extra rim where it came in and you're like, gosh, dang it. There's like another additional ring and it looks like little minute steps in there. That last pass is going to come in and just clean everything up and it's going to look so nice. So
this
that'll do
has
that
to
for you.
do with the actual physical properties of what's going on with the bit. The bit is like a screw, and the screws want to turn and they want to go in one direction when they're turning it. And so the bit is maybe trying to push itself out and the wood is trying to push down. You got to watch the video. Science down bits. Type in down bits IDC Woodcraft, and you'll watch that video. It's going to explain a science to you that you never thought of.
Yeah. And I will warn you, if you're a new beginner, I had to watch it like 3 times because I was like, what is he saying? And then after like the 2.5 time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm not trying to be a dodo bird, but you know. Sometimes
it's
when
not
you don't know what you don't know, you're like, what the hell is he saying? It's like
yeah.
they're speaking French.
At Two Elms donated $5. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. All right.
We're at 9:35. So
All
let's
right.
knock out a couple more.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I saw. So to Elm, they said thank you for teaching. That you two do. I appreciate it. You are most welcome. I'm so glad. That's why we do this every Wednesday night to try and help you guys. I love it. We both are very passionate about sharing our knowledge for CNC. So, Jack, yes, I do have crickets in my shop tonight. It's not Garrett's, they're mine. They're everywhere this time of year. It drives me crazy.
This is the good part about being having hearing issues. I don't hear crickets anymore.
Oh my gosh, I hear the crickets are
I
everywhere.
do miss night sounds, but I don't hear crickets.
Oh my gosh. Jack, I am dying laughing inside about your comments, biscuits and mustard. I know that movie. I can't think of who it is, but Jack, I will have to send you an email. It's a whole thing with my son's school photos when he was like 5. He literally, I sent him in a really cute outfit. This is really quick. And he literally went to school and got his head wet in the sink and like shellacked his hair down, like combed it, like shellacked it to his head as much as he could. And then he hiked up his pants and then he tucked in his shirt as tight as he could and he like rolled his sleeves and he's like, and so my sister's like, that is some biscuits and mustard kind of school picture. Oh my god, it was the most hilarious picture we've ever seen in our whole life. But I cannot think of the name of that movie, but it's hilarious. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm going to answer a question here, and we got to start
Yes,
plugging
I'm
out.
sorry.
So Matthias is thinking about buying an MK2, long mill MK2, but he's concerned about the rigidity of the machine. Will it be able to cut aluminum? So most of your benchtop machines are not designed for aluminum. In general, your spindles are turning too fast for metals, but because they're metal too, most of your benchtop machines are going to struggle with metals. You can do it, but you have to be very conservative. I have done some carving with aluminum on mine. I did some 3D carving, which is kind of cool, and it actually worked out. But the more material I'm taking off, the rougher it's working. You have to have a lot of rigidity in your headstock. So the answer is if aluminum and a lot of aluminum cutting, you need to consider a completely different machine, like a milling machine.
Okay.
You can do it. I mean, you can do it, but most bench tops aren't going to support that with the high spindle speeds, especially with the Makita trim routers.
Okay, so sorry, I'm reading questions. So Lauren has a good question. She's at 929. She is, what are your thoughts on spiral V-carve bits?
929. Okay, spiral V-carve bits. So the only spiral I've seen them, but I've never played with them, so I can't really give you a thought. But what I've seen on those is they have an up spiral, right? Which means it's technically an up bit, and you're bound to see some tear out, more tear out than you would on a flat blade.
That's what I was like. I don't know that I would want to even use that.
Yeah,
I don't know what would be the purpose of using that unless you're
I don't
doing
even know why
something
they
very
come out with it.
specific.
What I've determined with a lot of router bit companies, they don't really think about or care about the end user. Oh, this looks like a tool that's going to work for this. You know, they'll make it and they'll sell it, and
Yeah.
they don't really offer support behind it. So a spiral V bit I would generally stay away from if it's an up bit. Cody Cadence has a V bit that it has a very slight down. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to him about sourcing those, and because
Yeah.
so yeah.
I was actually talking to you about that today, so I need to get with Cody myself.
All right.
So we have a question from Guy. He is asking about our show on the regular. So we do every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Garrett and I are both located in Indiana. So right now it is 9:40 our time. So hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, we are going to check out. It is time to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
What?
I have the best news ever. I literally just scrolled to the bottom of the screen and we got every comment, every question.
Oh. Wait. Are you happy to?
We got every single, I mean, we may not have
Yes.
gotten every single name called out, but we did get all of the questions. I'm so excited.
Good.
And somebody commented, Sling Blade is the name of the movie. You need to watch that movie. It's
Oh, that's good. Good movie.
Sling Blade. Yes, that's it. All
Okay,
right.
brothers and sisters, we are going to check out. And next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kate and I will be here again to answer your questions and buzz through things and do whatever we can to help you out. And you guys will get to talk to each other as well. CNC
Yes.
Hangout. CNC Wednesday Night Hangout. Maybe that's what the name should be.
There it is.
All right.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Have a good one. See ya.
Okay, we're done.